Hello everyone, this is Suroj here. Welcome you all to my channel. Today I will show you how to connect one private instance to the internet using a NAT gateway. See here, this is one VPC with CIDR block 10.0.0.0/16 and two subnets are there. One is private subnet with CIDR 10.0.0.0/17 and one public subnet with CID 10.0.128.0/17. Fine. And here you can see one route is there and two route tables are there. One is associated with public subnet, another one is with private subnet. So for the public subnet, if you see 0.0.0.0/0, that means internet is connected using IGW ID, that means Internet Gateway ID, and the local network, that means the VPC network is local. Okay, and for the private subnet, the internet will be connected through NAT gateway, and the local, for local means the internal communication network is the VPC network. Now see in this diagram how a person or how a user can send a request to the instance in private subnet and get the response from that instance within that private subnet. See here. So the request will come in this way. The request will come to the instance in the public subnet first. Then the request will go to the instance in the private subnet. Then it will send the response to the NAT gateway and from NAT gateway to the internet gateway. So this is the flow. Fine. So I will set up this infrastructure using AWS console. Let's go to AWS console. Okay. So first of all, I will create one VPC. Let me click on create VPC. I will name this as my VPC and the CIDR block I will choose 10.0.0.0/16. Okay, tenant is default, create VPC. Now I need to create one internet gateway. Create internet gateway, I will name this as my IGW. Create internet gateway. Now in the action, I will attach this to the VPC. Now the VPC is my VPC. I will select this and attach internet gateway with that VPC. Now I will create two subnets. Create subnet, choose the VPC, and the first one is private subnet. Preference we will choose AP South 1A in this availability zone, and here what will be the IP address. Fine. So let's go to the notepad plus plus 10.0.0.0/16. This is VPC CIDR. What does this mean? This means first 16 bit of the IP address is of network part and rest bits are of host part. Okay, let's convert this IP address to binary. So how we can convert this 10 in binary with 8 bit, that is 0000, then 1010, then dot, next 0 will be 8 times 0, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, next will be 0000 0 0 0 0, again 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8/16. Fine. That means if you see total 8 bits are there in this total 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, here total 8 bits. That means up to this. So this is the network part and this is the host part. Fine. Now we need to create two subnets from the CIDR block. So for that, what you need to do? We need to borrow one bit from the host part. So what will be that? Then it will be like, let me copy this, paste this, then this 0 will come here like this. See, 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0, and this is 1 0, this is total 7 zeros. Fine, and 1 0 we have taken here. Now total 17 bits are of network part and rest parts are of host part. So this will be 17. Now this is 0. When the value will be 1, that times it will create another subnet. So let me copy this and we will make this value as 1. Fine. And if I convert this to decimal, then it will be 10.0.0.0/17. And for this one, 10.0.128.0/17. See, this is 1 and rest are 0. That means this value will be 120. That is 2 to the power 7. That means 120. Fine. So because we have borrowed only one digit, so for that one digit, that means actually one bit, if we say it correctly. So for one bit, the value will be either 0 or 1. So for both the possibilities, we have taken two subnets. So the for the first subnet, it will be 10.0.0.0/17, and we'll create another subnet that will be public subnet. Preferences will be AP South 1A, and this time it will be 10.0.128.0/17. Fine, let me create that. Okay, now for this public subnet, I will go to actions and edit subnet settings. I'll click on enable auto assign public IPv4 address. What does that mean? Whenever any EC2 instance will be created within that public subnet, that time the public IP will be auto assigned to that instance. Fine. Let's save. We are not going to do the same for private subnet, because for private subnet instances we do not want any public IPv4 for that instance. Fine. Okay, up to this it is fine. Now what we need to do, we need to create two NACL, network access control list. See here, under this VPC, one NACL is already present with two subnets are associated with that. Fine, let me click on that. Let me check that what is the inbound rule. See, everything is opened for inbound rule, and for outbound rule, everything is opened. So I will name this as public NACL. Public NACL. Fine, save. And we'll create another NACL, private NACL. And the subnet we need to choose my VPC. And I will edit the inbound and outbound rule for that private NACL. Let's go to inbound rules, edit. I will add one rule under 100. It will be all traffic. All traffic will be allowed from the network of VPC, not from anywhere. Fine. So 10.0.0.0/16. Why this network? Because we do not want outside internet to connect to private instance. So that is why we are mentioning the VPC CIDR here. Save changes. Let me go to outbound rule. Add one rule, 100. Any network. We want to connect to any network from the private instance. That is fine. Save changes. And this private NACL is for private subnet. So we need to associate the subnet also. Okay, private subnet. Save changes. See, for private NACL, private subnet is associated. For public NACL, public subnet is associated. Up to this, it is fine. Now, let's go to the route tables. See here, under this VPC, one route table is already present. Let's click on this and see what is the routes. See, only one route is there, the local routes. That means the internal communication. The destination is the VPC CIDR, means VPC network, and target is local. So it can communicate locally. So for subnet association, what will be the subnet? It should be the private one, right? Edit subnet associations. private subnet, save associations, and I will name this as private route. Fine. And we'll create another route, that is public route. Subnet will be my VPC. Fine. Let me click on public route and edit routes. So the internal communication is mentioned, and we need to the communication to the internet. 0000/0, that is any network, that means internet. It will be done through internet gateway. Whenever it is connected to internet gateway, that means it has access to the internet. Save changes. And which subnet will be associated with this? The public subnet. Subnet association, edit subnet association, public subnet. Fine. Up to this it is done. Now we need to create two security groups also for two EC2 instances in two subnets. Let me click on security groups, create security group, private SG. This is private SG, and I will choose our VPC, that is my VPC. And in the inbound rule, SSH, who can do SSH? The instance in the public subnet can do SSH to the EC2 instance in the private subnet. Fine. So that's why we need to mention the VPC CIDR, not 0000/0. That means if we mention 0000/0, that means anyone from the internet can access the private instance, right? So that's we do not want. That will be 16. Okay. And I will add another rule that anyone can do ICMP from that internal network. ICMP means ping. That's fine. And outbound, okay. All traffic, it is fine. Create security group. Okay, private SG is done. Let me click on create security group, and this time it will be public SG. So this is public SG, and we need to choose our VPC, my VPC. And in this rule it will be SSH from anywhere, because this is the EC2 instance in the public subnet and which can be accessed from anywhere from the internet, right? So okay, SSH port 22 is opened. Fine. Let me create that security group. Okay, now what we need to do, as per the diagram, we need to create two instances first. Let me go to EC2 instance dashboard, launch instance. I will name this as private application server. Okay, so key pair, I need to create one key pair, mykey.pem, create key. I will save this in my desktop, and in the network setting click on edit and need to choose our VPC, and private subnet is chosen. And if you see, auto assign public IP is disabled for that private subnet. Fine. So select existing security group, we need to choose the private security group. Fine. And click on launch instances. Click on launch instances. Now this time it will be public EC2, and we will need to choose the existing key pair, and in the network setting need to choose my VPC, and this will be, it will be public subnet. See, and this time auto assign public IP is enabled. Fine. Select existing security group and public SG and launch instance. Fine. Let me click on instances. I'll filter with running. See here, both the instances are running now. This one is public EC2 and this one is private EC2, which is running in private server. So let me connect to this instance, public EC2. Fine. So this is the public IP and this is the private IP. Okay. So here our mykey.pem is there in this location. Let me open mobile xterm here. ls-l. Yes, mykey.pem is there. I need to change the permission to read only. See, it's now read only. So let's do ssh-i mykey.pem ec2-user at the rate the public IP of the public instance. Okay, we are now connected to the EC2 instance in the public subnet. Fine. Okay, so let me ping google.com. Okay, it's now communicating to the internet. Fine. Okay, let me connect to the private EC2 instance. Let's check whether it is connecting to the private instance or not. See, it's also connecting to the private instance. Fine. So what I need to do, I will connect to the private EC2 instance from the public instance. Fine. So for that, what we need to do, first of all, we need to create the key pair for the private instance also, but the key pair is inside my local system. So what I need to do, I need to create one file, touch mykey.pem, and we'll modify the content. mykey.pem, enter, and let me go to the insert mode by clicking I. Okay, so I'll copy the content from here, Control A, Control C, paste, escape, :WQ. I will check the content. See, it is there. Now I'll need to change the permission for that file. See, it's now read only. mykey.pem file is now read only file. So I'll click on ssh-i mykey.pem ec2-user at the rate the private IP of the private EC2 instance. Fine. Okay. Yes, I want to connect. See, the IP has been changed now. So this is the private IP of the private EC2 instance 10.0.74.162. 10.0.74.162. Fine. Let me ping the public EC2 instance from the private instance. Ping the private IP of the public EC2 instance. See, it's not working. Why? Let me check the inbound rule of the public EC2 instance. So let me go to the security group, and what is the public SG? Yes, this is the public SG. Let me click on action, edit inbound rule. See, port for ICMP is not opened, only SSH is opened from anywhere, right? I need to add rule, need to click on ICMP, and this time it will be 10.0.0.0/16. That means the internal network can do ping to this public instance. Let me click on save rules. See, it's now communicating. Fine. Now let me ping google.com. Okay, it's not working. That means it is unable to connect to the internet, but it is able to connect to the internal network of the VPC. Fine. So For that, what we need to do? We need to create one NAT gateway to communicate to the internet. So let me create one NAT gateway, NAT gateway, create NAT gateway, my NAT gateway. Fine. So the NAT gateway will be created in the public subnet. See the diagram again. It will be created in the public subnet and it is public and elastic IP allocation. I'll click on this. It will be assigned create NAT gateway. It will take some time to get created. See, my NAT gateway is now available. So what we need to do? We need to go to route tables, click on private route and edit routes. So this time the internet will be connected through NAT gateway. This is my NAT gateway, save changes. Fine. So now my private EC2 instance should connect to the internet. See, it's still not connecting. Why? Okay, let me check the private NACL. What is the issue? Network ACLs, private NACL, inbound rule, edit inbound rule. Okay, so in the inbound rule, uh, you can see all traffics are allowed from this internal network. Okay, that is fine. But in the outbound rule, what is that? Okay, that is also fine. So in the outbound rule means the private instance is trying to connect to the outside world. That means everything is open to the destination is 0000. But the problem is that NACL is stateless, but security group is stateful. So I will discuss this thing in a separate video. So because NACL is stateless, so that is why we need to explicitly mention that in the inbound rule also. That means we need to make this as 0000/0 so that even when the instance is trying to connect to the outer world or the internet, then the response will come to the instance from the internet. Fine. So that is why the inbound rule source is internet. So we need to mention that explicitly. Fine. Let me click on save changes. Now see, it is responding. Fine. That's it for now today, and we'll see you in the next video. If you really like this video, kindly like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye bye.